Hey guys, I wanted to show you the 3 Web 2.0 tools that I use for my lesson plans. And what I did was, the first thing I did was Quizlet. And I use Quizlet, really is a vocabulary strategy. And it's a great tool if you've never used it. But what I did is I had my students preview the vocabulary for the unit. They can look at the flashcards. These two are about spelling. This one is you can hear the word spoken to the student and then they spell it out correctly. This one is they just have to write the correct word for the definition, so they would actually have to spell it correctly to get credit for it. They can test themselves, and what I like about the test is that it shows multiple choice, short answer, true, false, matching, which is something that's a lot of my 6th grade students are not accustomed to, the different types of assessments, so that is very good for preview. The student's favorite is something called match, and I can show you that one really quickly. These students really love this one because it is timed, and you can do this on their own individually, or you can do it as a like on the smart board where students can come up and try to beat each other's time. So I know that this one is Pangea. So when I click the definition to the word, it disappears. But if it's not right, it'll push it away, and I have to do it again. So I really like that. Quizlet was very good for this lesson. It was really good for vocabulary for the students so that they could understand what was happening later on in the unit. Toward the end of the unit, right before we were going to have a test, the students they created their own Kahoot, which is great. The students, they had a checklist they had to follow, and they had to meet their requirements, and then they had to share it. They got to make a title, and we talked about sharing and who could see it, and then the students had to share it with another student in the class. They really liked it, and I liked it too because they got to create their own study guide, but the problem was we didn't get to play everyone's game. So I think in the future what I would do is have the students create as a group and then assign a group to assess the other group. They would have to take the other group's quiz. So it got a little confusing. I know for next time what to do in that situation. The last thing that we did, and I really liked this one because of the assessment piece. I used this as an assessment, and what we did was they created a Voki. So not only did they have to develop their own Voki, but they had to take that Voki and use their content to let me know that they understood and they mastered the standard of the Earth's layers. So it was really interesting to watch the students customize their Vokis because some went over the top, some were very, very simple. One problem I found, though, is that they spent more time on the Voki, customizing it instead of the content. So I may have to, in the future, spend a day or half a day, give them a time frame of how long they can actually use to customize their character. And then after that, then they would have the rest of the time to put the content in. So that's something that I'm going to work through for next time. But the cool thing is they can, if they are a little bit nervous about speaking into the computer or the microphone, and I found that you don't always have the available technology or the quiet space for them to talk into the computer, this text-to-speech is a really good way for them to just type in the information. However, the only problem is once they start typing, when you play it back, you have to make sure that you spell it phonetically because it doesn't always pick up on the words. I do like it, however, that you can record with a microphone, of course, or you can upload a file that's already been recorded. So they could do it at home if they had that capability. But I do like that if it's a female, you can give it a female voice, male, a male voice. So those are the 3 tools that I used, and I think that it went really well, and I know exactly how I would change it later.